Hi, Jim McIntyre here. Would you like to move more people to say yes to your business proposals? How would you like to learn how to ethically persuade others to move in your direction so you don't sound salesy, yet you make the sale? This is a series of video blogs on how to use persuasive principles to help your clients when they're making a choice between a product or service to make that choice likely with buying from you. This is part of a 4-part series. This is part 1 and using those persuasive principles. All of it is based on the work of Dr. Robert Cialdini, Regents Professor at Arizona State University, the most frequently cited living social psychologist in the world. Dr. Cialdini believes you're not trying to change people's perception. No, you're trying to change their behavior, getting people to say yes to your proposal. I'm going to do more than just share with you theories. I'm going to teach you proven practices of influence where two competitors, you being one of them, are sharing a proposal for products or services with a customer. Yet only one of those people is going to walk away with the sale. By using these strategies, it's going to increase the likelihood that'll be you that makes the sale. I've used Cialdini's strategies for over 20 years in my business very successfully, recently selling my business because of his strategies. In fact, the lawyer that handled the closing of the sale shared with us at the end that after selling over 200 businesses involved in the sale for over 40 years, this was the smoothest, less stress-filled sale he'd ever been involved in. It was all because of Cialdini's strategies. His stuff works. I promise you employ these principles, you'll become a significantly more expert, better at influencing other people. Not only in your business to increase your profits and sales, but in your family, in your community, with your friends, and helping you persuade one of the most difficult groups that I've ever encountered to persuade, your children. Today I'm going to share with you the first 2 of the strategies of 8. There'll be 3 other videos after this. The first one I'll share with you is the law of reciprocation. How does that work? It's the old give and take. I invite you to a party, you invite me to a party. You give me a present, I give you a present. You do something nice for me, I want to do something nice for you. All societies in the world teach this reciprocation to their people. We want to give back to those that give to us. This works because it trains people that in reciprocation, there's a great advantage for both parties. Because whoever in the group helps somebody else, later on that person can lean on them and say, listen, would you help me with an introduction, help me with a project, help me with getting something accomplished. We like to give back to those that give to us. One of Cialdini's fellow psychologists at the University of Chicago sent out one year 200 Christmas cards randomly. People he didn't know at all. Expect maybe 20 cards to come back. He didn't expect over 100 Christmas cards came back. This is the strength of that law of reciprocation. One of Cialdini's research scientists who worked for him in Arizona shared one of her stories. Her name's Evelyn. One Christmas, she received a Christmas card from Santa Clara, California. She doesn't know anybody in Santa Clara. She asked her husband. He didn't know anybody in Santa Clara. We don't know why he got this card, but she took and wrote a nice long letter back to this individual in Santa Clara who's called the Marshalls. This went on now for 10 years, back and forth the Christmas cards. And after 10 years, her daughter was old enough, she applied to the University of California in Santa Clara. She was accepted. When she went there and they asked her to come 3 days earlier because she was in the Regents program, she found that her dorm was not ready. And what were they going to do? What was Evelyn going to do with their daughter? She didn't have money for a hotel. She called the Marshalls and they allowed her to stay. The law of reciprocation. Now, if the Marshalls ever come to Arizona, they're going to want to stay with Evelyn, and that's acceptable. It goes both ways. So how can you use this? You can use this when you go to a networking event. Don't look to sell to somebody else. Look to help somebody else. How can you help that individual across the room grow their business or somebody you can introduce them to? By you helping them, they're going to help you. Another part of the advantage of this law of reciprocation, sometimes people ask you to do a big favor for them. And you'll reach back and say, yeah, I'll help you out. And you do. After you've done that favor for them, they'll call you up or meet you and say, listen, thanks a lot for doing that. And you say, hey, no big deal. Don't do that, my friend. This is such a moment of opportunity for you. After you do a big deal for somebody else and they go to thank you, share with them, you know, you would have done the same thing for me. And of course, they're going to say yes. This gives you a chip, if you will. to use at a later date for an introduction, some help, a connection to somebody else. How else can you do this in your business? When someone contacts you to buy something and they're on the fence, they don't know what to do. Think about what fears they have, what needs they have, what outcomes that person's looking for. Now help them reduce those fears, help them fill those needs with information, and help them with that outcome. Paint a picture of what it's like if they decide to buy you. Do something for them. They'll want to do business with you. Our second law we'll talk about today is what should you lead with first with your client? The more expensive proposition or the more moderate proposition? Dr. Cialdini and his research group at the University of Arizona went out into the Phoenix area and visited with people. And they asked them, would you be willing to spend one day with a group of juvenile delinquents, which we represent at a delinquent center, and go to the zoo for that one day? Of all the people they asked, 17% said yes, 83% said no. I'm not interested in being involved with juvenile delinquents. Now, later on, in the same area, the research went on and they asked people, would you be willing to donate 3 hours a week for the next 2 years to be a big brother or big sister to a group of children that are in this juvenile delinquent center? The people looked at them and they said, look, I don't even know if I'm going to be here in 2 years, and I don't want to do this. Nobody accepted that proposal. Nobody wanted to be involved. Then the same group of researchers with those same people asked them, well, if you wouldn't do that, would you consider one day with these juvenile delinquents as a chaperone to the zoo? Now, before 17% had said yes. Now, when they asked that second proposal, 53% said yes. Yes, I'll go with the delinquents to the zoo. That's an increase of 300%. What does this mean for you and your proposals in your business? When your customer says no to that first proposal, when they pass on it, come back and share with them a second, more moderate proposal, maybe the one you wanted anyways. They're more likely to say yes. But you need to do this in a particular time frame. You need to do it right away. You can't do it the next day, the next week, the next month, because they'll see that as a separate proposal. Do it in that time frame. You're going to find more people that are going to say yes to your second proposal. How do I know this works? Because it worked on me recently when I went over to the grocery store. As I walked in, they had a table, some young girls, it's Girl Scouts, selling 5 candy bars for $10. I don't eat candy. I don't buy candy. I said, oh, thank you. I'm all set. I came back out of the store just 5 minutes later. The girl said, sir, if you won't buy those 5 candy bars for $10, would you buy 1 candy bar for $2.50? I said, sure. I bought the candy bar. As I climbed my car, I got laughing. I thought, I don't even like candy. Why did I buy that? I thought, bingo. They may not have read Cialdini's book, but they used that strategy. Consider offering that second proposal, a more moderate one, to make the sale. If you like what you heard today, please comment, share with someone else. I'd appreciate that. Remember now, this is the first of a 4-part series. The other 4 parts we're going to talk about the law of scarcity, what's more important, gain or loss with your customers, how you become the expert, how do you build immediate trust, how do you build consensus and consistency with customers, and how to build fast rapport. Thanks for watching. We'll see you the next time.